I don't think it is possible to solve a problem until you have identified the problem. And a lot of times we're looking in the wrong direction and or asking ourselves the wrong questions or asking the wrong questions to other people in order to solve our problem. So you want to dig deep, take some pressure off and dig deep under the surface level layers. So for example, a friend of mine reached out to me the other day who's been struggling in his career direction. And I said, how can I help? And he said that he wanted to understand how the market is right now. And then he also said that he wanted to learn how to better network with people, like write a message that people will actually respond to. And I said, okay, well, wait a minute. The problem with question number one is it is not specific. What market are you talking about? I don't even know what market you're in. It had been a while since we spoke, so I wasn't sure of his career history. And even though I focus in a specific market that I work in, that does not mean that I have a crystal ball over the entire market. And even if I did, what difference does it make? Like, what if I come back and I say, the market sucks right now? How's that going to help you? Regardless of what our external circumstances are, that doesn't change what you want. And it also doesn't change what you have control over, which is a good thing. Because if you had to wait for your external circumstances to change, you're going to be waiting potentially a long time. But if you are the one that needs changing and I'm the one that needs changing when it is that we're working toward or wanting something that we don't quite yet have, well, that's good news because I have control over myself and you have control over yourself. So I told him, number one, you're asking the wrong question. What is it? And then with the networking thing, I could tell that, okay, so I'm not really a big believer in networking. I'm a believer in working. So I mean, yes, networking, there's a place for it, but I often find it honestly a waste of time. Like I know what I want and I'm going for it. And if I'm reaching out to somebody, it's with a very specific intention. I think that's a topic for another time. So I'll circle back to this. So I told my friend, I said, first, let's get very specific with identifying the real problem. For me to answer your question and or give you guidance, we have to get to the real question. So I said, what's the problem that you're having? And he gave an answer, but it still wasn't the real problem. So we dug deeper and I said, do you have a job right now? And he said, no. I said, so there's your problem. The problem is you don't have a job and the goal is you want a job. That is where you want to start. And you want to, because if you have yet to identify the problem, I don't have a job. Why don't I have a job? What are my actions and inactions? What am I doing, not doing to get myself out of where I am and heading toward where I want to be? If you're not focused on the real problem and instead you're focused on, well, what's the market and how do I network? You're focused in the wrong direction. So you can actually, it might sound daunting, but it's actually, I think, takes a lot of pressure off when you allow yourself to just sit with the discomfort, your uncomfortable feeling, because your uncomfortable feelings are showing up for a reason. And then from there, the reason is to get your attention. If we felt happy not having a job or in our current circumstances, we wouldn't change our circumstances. So sit with the uncomfortable emotion, identify the emotion, and then identify the problem. And then your first step is going to show up from there. But first, we can't solve a problem that we don't know is there. And this is why a lot of times we will go on for years, and myself included in other areas in the past, with the same challenges resurfacing over and over again. And that's because we have yet to identify the real problem. Once you identify the problem, you are halfway to the solution.